Staying with that conference, let's get the latest on the story from our reporter, Pelane Pakgadi. Pelane, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm assuming the delegates were now in commissions, and we should be getting the announcement of those PEC members. What's the update coming from Rustenburg?
Well, unfortunately, no commissions as yet. I can tell you that for sure, because delegates left here in the early hours of the morning. So we are told some of them are still making their way here to the Civic Center. And of course, I mean, they've voted, and they've also as well came through to nominate. They nominated and then voted for their preferred candidates as far as the Provincial Executive Committee is concerned. And only after that are we expecting that there will be announcements sometime, but only when they are here on time. But for what we know right now is that is not yet to happen. So we have seen that the PEC top 5 officials that were elected about 2 weekends ago, they are here, and of course they are waiting rather to ensure that they are able to take off the whole thing and be able to be in a position. But I think one interesting thing is that if you remember correctly, actually yesterday, Bushimape actually came through to accept nomination, and then a little later on, then he ensured that he withdraws his name, and we are told, of course, even the regions and even branches of his hometown did not mince their words when they said that they did not support him. Perhaps despite the fact that he reached threshold as far as nominations is concerned for the PEC, but that I'm sure later negated to him making a decision because the numbers were just not agreeing. Let me bring in Malusi Gigaba, and of course, just to give us an indication, the NEC has been here, they've been running things, they've been running the ship because, well, the court said the IPC cannot, but I can see that you're almost at the end of it. But commissions, will you go to commissions?
What we are going to do now, because delegates finished voting late. First, good morning. the voting process finished late, and delegates slept in the morning, and so it's been difficult for them to come and start the commissions. What we will now do is to convert the plenary into a big commission. So we will be discussing all the commission reports and resolutions at plenary from 11:30.
And then, I mean, it is very important for the ANC to go into commissions, because we've seen with Gauteng as well, having to come back after 2 weekends to do same. And that was before the policy conference. Now that it is after the policy conference, how do you foresee the discussions going as far as recommendations to the 55th National Conference on policies of the ANC? Well, of course, you are an NEC member. I'm sure you will not, I mean, they will make their decision as far as the province is concerned. But how are you going to be facilitating those kind of processes?
The commission rapporteurs and the facilitators have worked on what were the provincial recommendations to the National Policy Conference and blended them with the resolutions of the National Policy Conference. Remember that the resolutions of the National Policy Conference are not final. They are recommendations to the National Conference. So what we will be doing from 11:30 is to present those, taking into consideration the recommendations, the decisions of the National Policy Conference, so that we allow the plenary to have a productive and meaningful discussion leading to the adoption. Because even here, we're not going to be adopting final resolutions. There will probably be still another Provincial General Council prior to the National Conference, so that the province can consolidate its positions that it will go with towards the National Conference in December.
And this particular conference has been filled with litigation, and there's been challenges of delaying here and there, and it took time. I mean, it's 4 days, but in different weekends, 14 days apart, and there's still delays now even to start. Perhaps, of course, delegates continue late. But what are those takeaways from the NEC from this conference that you'd want to ensure that the Western Cape and Free State don't fall into the same trap?
You know, the most important one is to improve on our administration. Obviously, to register delegates a day or two prior to the commencement of conference is proving to be difficult. I think KZN managed it well, registering delegates in regions a week before the conference, so that if there are any disputes regarding registration, they are dealt with timeously. But at the political level, it's the preparation, the absence of regional of elected regional leadership, the absence of regional conferences has been a major stumbling block for us, because the political preparation of delegates at branch level and the consolidation of their political views at regional level has meant that comrades come here not very well prepared for political discussions. And we need to look at how best we manage the issue of elections and the commissions, because the conference, until the credentials get adopted and the top 5, the officials are elected, the conference tends to stammer quite a lot. And so we need to try and manage all of those issues. The disputes and the litigations, there is not much you can do about them because we don't plan for them. It's someone else who decides that they are going to take us to court or litigate. So we just have to do our best to improve the administration, but most importantly to improve the political preparation. I think the quality and depth of our delegates is an issue that the ANC needs to pay great attention to. These delegates who are here have really gone through the eye of the needle. It's an honor to be at an ANC conference because the entire process is very meticulous. It's audited right throughout, from BGM to the selection of delegates. But it's the political preparation. So we might have over-regulated ourselves in the process, so that in that process, we've deprived ourselves of the opportunity to do the thoroughgoing political preparation of delegates. The people who come here must be of the highest quality so that the product of the conference reflects the quality and depth of those people.
As you conclude, is the TG coming here to give those particular closure remarks after the inauguration of the chairperson?
He is close to arriving, so he will be here. So soon after the provincial chairperson does the inaugural address, the Treasurer General will also then close on behalf of the NEC.
Malusi Gigaba, thank you very much. Of course, there is the NEC member of the African National Congress. They've been charged with the responsibility of ensuring that they run a tight ship here for 14 days that the break was, and today they're continuing with the conference, and of course concluding today. That is the expectation. Over-regulating, maybe that is what some of the things that Malusi Gigaba is bringing forward, and as well as talking to the lack of political preparation towards these provincial conferences, which are delaying and of course even halting some of the important parts of the conference, including going into commissions. So we are expecting a very big commission here. There will be no breaking into commissions, so the commission reporters will be done here, and that perhaps will lead to the closure of the conference with the closing remarks by the Treasurer General and the Acting Secretary General, Paul Mashatile.
All right, Pelane Pakgadi, our reporter out in Rustenburg at the Civic Center.